I think I can explain why they blame the truck and not the system. When we blame the truck, it's easy. A westbound bus with 22 passengers entered a rest area east of St. Louis at 1:48 in the morning on July 12th, 2023, and it slid along the sides of three trucks parked for the night. And out of that accident, three were fatally injured and 11 others were injured less severely. But now, after some statistics have been born of investigations, officials want to limit a tool used to enable you to solve a problem, and I want you to tell me, would personal conveyance have made a difference? Comment below and stick with me. I'm about to open your eyes on another edition of Headlines Trucking. Greetings to you, truck lovers and truth seekers all over the United States of trucking. BossMan here, broadcasting from inside the headquarters of the Truth in Broadcasting Network, saving the trucking industry simply by showing up to point out the media's flaws. Welcome back to another edition of Trucking Headlines, where we say silence is our enemy. Let me tell you, AP News front page headlined this article I'm talking about, where a tragic crash between a Greyhound bus and three parked trucks brought to light some simple facts. You guessed it. The lack of safe parking was the issue. No kidding, Sherlock. We could have figured that out before the article went out. Not one single quote from a driver made mention of the fact of whether or not personal conveyance was even reportedly an issue. This is what I call mainstream minimalism. You get just enough to claim that you're a journalist, and you report just enough to silence the obvious onlookers. This video I'm making isn't about parking, and it's really not about anything other than priorities. So let me ask you a question. Where are the officials putting their priorities? Well, I'll tell you one place they're not putting it. And I'll tell you one way in which we, the truckers, if given the right tools and the right strategies, we can make trucking great again. In a recent article outlined by Overdrive magazine, the Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance is petitioning the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration to impose strict 2-hour daily limits on personal conveyance for truckers. Not only that, but they'll also seek to prohibit owner operators from using personal conveyance to travel to or from home and to restrict its use for reaching safe parking when hours of service are exhausted. Now, let's be clear. Safety is paramount. But these proposed restrictions could have unintended consequences, especially in an industry already grappling with severe shortages of safe parking spaces and an overcapacity to boot. Limiting personal conveyance could force drivers into unsafe situations, parking on highway shoulders or unauthorized areas simply because they can't legally move their rigs to safe locations. I've said before and I'll say again, one boilerplate, one size fits all makeover does not work for the entire industry. Moreover, these changes could disproportionately affect owner operators who often use PC to manage their schedules and maintain a work life balance. By restricting their ability to return home or reach safe havens, we risk adding unnecessary stress and fatigue, which ironically could compromise safety, the very issue these regulations are looking to address. Instead of tightening the regulatory noose, we should be advocating for more flexibility and practical solutions. This includes increasing the availability of safe parking, but also providing clearer guidelines on personal conveyance and give the drivers with the decision-making ability the power to make the decisions. Let's work together to ensure that regulators enhance safety, not restrict it. After all, who better understands the realities of the road than those that navigate it daily? I'd like you to down below in the comments, tell us your story. Drop in the comments and call us out on what you see as the biggest problem with either the use of PC or the availability of parking. Don't forget, I'm BossMan. I'm actually out there with you, fighting the fight, living the life, doing the deed, day by day. I do the same work you do. Let me ask you one question. Should shippers and receivers be legally required to provide parking? Are you finding that more often than not, you're being forced from places when you shouldn't? Drop it down below. Let me know. If the mainstream media gives you just enough truth to sound responsible, but not enough ability to actually make a difference, Truckin City is where you're going to come to go to get that difference. But this problem isn't going away. We need to be more vocal. We need to be more active. We need to petition the lawmakers to think of the people that are here doing the job. So tune in next time when I talk more about trucking and ways to help make trucking great again. If this hits home with you, go down below, hit the like button, become a subscriber, and join the United States of Trucking and all who ride with us to make trucking great again. Remember, it's the trucks that make the delivery, but it's you that make the difference. Till next time, keep it real, keep the faith, and above all, keep it rolling.